we'll step through these leads because there's a lot here. This is the vocal. It's not just guitar soloing. It's not just whatever. These are very catered, very thought melodies. Harmonies are coming in when a harmony would come in on a vocal. Automation's happening when automation would happen like a vocal. These are the moments in the song that our ears are supposed to be hooked on the most. That's why we've got, that one little rhythm guitar that only pops in until the lead pops in. It's like that's serving its purpose. It moves on. It leaves space for the lead. And this is the fun part in terms of intervals. This is the part that if you literally bury the lead, it's like not the move. It's the thing that can kind of soar across. Jump into the chorus real quick. There's a lot of automation happening on these. And just like any good vocal or any sort of thing where you're kind of building around what you're trying to solve, automation is the key. But let's just quickly touch on tones. First half of the record, we used the Helix plugin for all the leads. This time around, this was in the second batch, we used the Soldano, the Neural Soldano plugin, and then used some Get Good cabs. I didn't touch it once I loaded it. The upfront cab is basically the lead cab on this entire thing. It's a great cab. It's my favorite of like any Mesa cab. A 57 direct on is also my favorite way on V30 speakers. It's kind of the thing. Funny story, one reason we didn't reamp the leads was we set up a Soldano during the Helix, like when we had the Helix lead as the original lead tone. We set up a real Soldano, we reamped it, just the head, we turned the cab on, and it sounded identical to the plug-in one. So we're just like, we're not going to waste time reamping a whole bunch of leads across the record. We found what we were looking for already. I did a handful of automation right on the lead track when it comes to certain things. First off is cleanup, really simple stuff again. The biggest move happening here, which I think these are all deactivated, is that roll off at the end. I don't need that big screamy business. I think there's so much movement happening in verbs that have like very pretty top end tails, rooms and everything. This stuff will start to build up so quickly that it's like de-essing a vocal. You know what I mean? You take care of it now and it doesn't affect every other send down the line. It's a pretty deep pass, but it's there because it's in the context, it's totally fine. Everything kind of comes back. The one knob I am filtering, I think at one point in the song, the guitars, just filters out at the tail end here a little bit. And while that filters out, this boom track comes in. So it's kind of like a way to turn the volume down because the volume's also turning down at that moment too. But the filter kind of darkens it while the brightness of that comes up. And a plate verb also only comes in at that exact moment. Where's the mix here? And that is coming in, even though it ducks out so quickly, it's coming in to blend how verby this like little bloom track is. Kind of just like a trick of the ear to sort of like meld the two as if they were one file. We definitely played with the automation on this a lot in revisions and things like that. And that's kind of like, that's the thing. This is the stuff, that's the extra like 10% in mixing that you're trying to find the way to solve a thing. See, that bloom tail takes over from where that one is. But really, in terms of like processing, it's a simple, just an EQ, making some cleanup. Again, this is down here for any point he's palming on the EQ. Just like when you're tracking a vocal, we're listening for very specific things. So a lot of the like vibe of the guitar just comes out of Aaron's playing at the end of the day. When you hear certain articulations and things, it's like telling a vocalist to try something smiley or try rounding a syllable in a different way. Like those pinches there are so thought about. Every single one of them is like purposeful and punched and really focused on. So another reason why I didn't really mess with the cab settings post everything and why I was okay with just printing. Because I think in the first Nail the Mix I did on intervals, I probably gave DIs and the final tones. This, it's like, I want to hear how these things reacted with the cab, with the amp. The chorus verb, when the lead kicks in the chorus, is very important. The lead verb across the way was only on certain tracks. It actually might not even be on anything. Oh, it is. It's on a couple of the verse things. The chorus verb's the big one. It was really important to make sure that, a lot of these get baked in right away. The micro shift is a big part of Aaron's sound, and it's across the board on pretty much every track. It's only killed if we're looking for a more intimate moment. It's pretty much set it and forget it. It's just gained into at different levels. I love Style 2. I don't know what it is. Even on the little micro shift, Style 2 is kind of the magic one. I like the bigger micro shift. It gives you a few extra things. I think we use this because I cranked the tight all the way. But the Style 2 is really nice. And just sort of like in the room way with when we were talking about drums, like a lot of that, it sounds really lush and crazy when you're listening to it in solo, but a lot of those things just help to sit that stuff in the track. I'll talk about that real quick. Sorry, I know I'm bouncing around a little bit. This pause is really important. The dynamic built across this record is super important to the whole record. So things are killing and turning off at those moments very specifically. You'll see I'm like automating even these buses just down instead of turning them off if I need a specific mute of something happening. Because sometimes if you bypass, if you go from the send route and you turn off what's being sent, but it's a moving thing like a delay or something like that, the delay is going to carry over even if you've turned off the thing. So sometimes you got to go in and like really build the dynamic by killing that moment fully on the send. And I'll do that for everything. Like even in the drum automation, you can see like cutting this here because we wanted this to decay so quick across the whole board and then coming back in, or cutting it out of the breakdown. It sounds fake, but its goal is to disappear. Even there, the end of the that's the shortest verb I have. We still went out of our way to kill it and make sure it's gone. I love this little verse tone. This tone was a little bit different. I think the amp was different, but the cab, the smooth cab, yeah. And that's, again, it's kind of like it's that concept of using a different microphone or a different vibe to change what's up. So if the verse lead tone is one cab, then why not have a different cab when the other lead hits? It's like an EQ curve almost. And those cabs are pretty aptly named. Like the upfront cab really pushes that up front, and the smooth cab really does give it a bit of a like more mellowed tone, which I thought was like really nice in the verse. One thing I do, and I do this a lot with vocals, so why not try it on guitar, is I'll sometimes send to a different it's almost like a harmony where it's like stays one note until it locks in at the end or something. And this is being sent to an instance of real ADT where I think the preset's called Two Guitars Are Better Than One. It's the best like stereo doubler feeling I've had. in a plugin in a while, and I still use it. I use it on like, if I'm sent like a mono vocal, like a mono backing vocal or something, and I want it to be stereo, 2 guitars are better than 1, and then you change the drive on that will really help that. Like it lifts the right moments, it works for the harmonies. Have these cool little carios. These are actually from the demo, which I really like. I love keeping stuff from the demo. If it solves the problem, yeah, you can spend your time recreating it, or you can just kind of sneak it in. And the demo takes had these really well processed decap leads. You know, it disappears in certain moments. It only comes in to show you what's up. It's literally doing the like ooh backing vocal thing.